And we are live. Welcome to the Rome Show. I got a special guest. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Doing good. I appreciate you for taking time coming on the podcast.
Yeah.
So for the people on my platform that don't know, can you tell them like where you from a little bit, and your name and what
Yeah.
you do?
Sure. So I'm from upstate New York. I live just outside of Albany, which is the capital of New York for people who don't know. I'm a local real estate agent, and I also host a TV show called Selling the 518.
Nice. So you wear multiple hats,
Yep.
TV host, top tier realtor, and a snowboarder too, right?
Yep. Yeah. I had back surgery a few years ago, so I've only been once in the last couple of years, unfortunately, but maybe this year we'll be back at it.
So out of all those things, which of those identities came first for you?
Definitely snowboarder. I started when I was 12, like on a like an old little board in my parents' backyard, and then I used to go all the time till I had my daughter. And then I didn't go for a while, and when she was like 8, we started going again. And then I had my son, and then I took a break again. So that's like been one thing that has been constant throughout my life.
Nice. And there are those things that happen in life, having kids and getting older and growing and stuff. Did all of those things that you do fuel each other?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like so I had my daughter very young, had her right before I turned 19. And I mean, if I didn't have her, like, I just feel like it was so much motivation being a young single mother to like make money and figure out what I'm going to do with my life. And then my son just, now I need more money. How else am I going to do all this? So.
Right. And what was the moment in your career where you knew that you're really built for this?
Um, so I was about 2.5 years into it. I was only doing like $1 million in sales a year, which is not a lot. That's like 4 or 5 deals. You can't live on that. And I started working with the broker that I'm with now. And I went from 4 deals a year to 40. I'm on the road all the time, like constant movement, constant selling. And that's when I was like, I love this. This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Right. And from the competitive real estate world to hosting on air, how do you stay grounded and keep your voice authentic in high pressure environments?
I like having fun. I love what I do. I love selling real estate. I love my clients. I love doing the numbers. I love winning bids. I love selling stuff. And I really enjoy doing the show because I get to meet people that I may not have met otherwise. And also, just promoting other businesses and fundraisers. So it's just really important to have a good time with all of it.
Nice. And how do you prepare mentally before going on camera versus closing like a major deal in real estate?
So when I did my very first episode, I was like so nervous until we started, and I realized that I can redo anything as many times as I need to because it's not live. So live is a little more nerve-wracking. You can't go back and change your mistakes. And from that point, like I would still get really nervous before I would do any episode, but once I got into it, like, it would pass, I'd be fine. Now I don't even think about it. I had the last episode I was filming, I was in Saratoga, which is just north of here. And we're on the street just doing like an intro into some properties that I was going to feature up there. And this guy's at this restaurant sitting outside, and he's like, "Aren't you embarrassed to be doing that in front of all these people?" I'm like, "No, actually, I'm not. I'm not embarrassed at all anymore." Closing a big deal for me, that doesn't make me nervous. That makes me happy. I don't like the prep for walking into the final day when we're actually closing. It's just like, what can I get my client as a fun closing gift? How can I be there for them? And just making sure that everybody is laughing and having a good time at the closing, because you're signing papers for like an hour, so it can get a little boring.
Right. It must be like energetic.
Yeah, definitely.
And your TV show, can you talk like a little bit about that? Like, how did you get into it? And
Yeah, so it is it's produced by the American Dream TV. So a little over 2 years ago, they had come to the Albany area. They interviewed a bunch of agents. I think they started with 4 or 5 agents that were doing it. So they were like 5-minute segments, and we were all on the same show. So I would just be able to do one business, maybe a listing. And I had a lot of fun doing that. But then last October, they came out with this new model, the Lion model. And it's your own 30-minute show. And as soon as they started talking about it, I was like, oh, I want to do that. That sounds like a lot of fun. So now I get to do it's 5 different segments on each episode. So I'm not ready to announce the people who are going to be on the next one, but for the last one, we did a couple of the businesses down at Slip 12. So when we did our watch party, everybody is inviting their clients and their friends. So, you just have like a ton of people down there that are watching the show and participating. I always do a fundraiser with every episode. So we did American Heart Association this time. And it's just a really great way to, to highlight all these businesses. And maybe, the people who are going to the Real McCoy, where we did the party for a drink and dinner, have never heard of Zone 518, which is augmented reality. That's actually just right next door now. So it's just like this great opportunity for people to see what else is going on around, where they are in that moment. And like I said, it's a lot of fun. So hearing people's stories and giving them an opportunity to like be out there and get all this extra attention. It's so much fun.
Nice. And now where can we watch this or stream it?
Yeah, so the second episode is not on my YouTube channel yet. You can see the first episode on there. It's just Rebecca Cavalieri. Every episode airs on the Travel Channel and then locally on NBC and Fox. And then the second episode is also going to be on HGTV. I think it's either August 17th or 19th, but I'll send you that information so you have it. And then we also have the Fox date coming up soon, which hasn't been released yet. So you have 4 opportunities to see it on TV. And then you can always catch it on my YouTube channel. I also post links on my social media, my work page, personal page, and Instagram. And then you can also, if you look up the American Dream TV, they have it right on there as well.
Nice. Big things. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
How does that feel to be like a part of a show that's on those big networks?
Sometimes kind of surreal. Like, I think because I started doing the shorter episodes and like every once in a while they'd end up on the Travel Channel. It was like kind of a very easy transition into what I'm doing now. I think that if I had started with this 30-minute show, like it would be a lot more overwhelming. Even just knowing like my face is all over the place. When I watched my first episode that I did, like the first 5-minute segment, I couldn't even watch it. I couldn't stand the sound of my voice. I couldn't stand how I looked. And it's like, after you start, keep seeing yourself for a while, you stop feeling that way. And now I just I don't even hear myself. Every once in a while, I'm like, oh my God, I don't like my voice today, but, like the nerve-wracking part of that is over. I am like really excited that we're going to be on HGTV. That's a big dream of mine. I'm hoping that every episode gets to go on HGTV, but for right now, we'll take this one. And maybe someday I'll just have my own show on HGTV. That would be the dream. But yeah, it's very exciting. And I think that the most surreal moment, and maybe some people don't think it's a huge deal, but I was invited on the local news right before the first episode came out. And I'm like, I'm on camera all the time. I don't even think about it. But then I'm sitting there in the studio. And as soon as I start talking and realize we're live, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have a full-blown panic attack right now. Like, what am I doing on the news? How did I get here? And that was really the most surreal moment for me. Like, oh my, people are actually interested in this. And, I was just so excited and so nervous, I guess. Would be the best thing to say, nervous.
Right, and that happens when the nerves get going. So from your point of view, what's the biggest misconception people have about working in TV or real estate?
Well, for real estate, I would say a lot of people think that being a real estate agent is an easy job. They think it's something that you can do part-time time and you just make your own schedule and you just make a ton of money. But to be a successful real estate agent, so I'm so excited. I hit top 50 this year. I've been top 100 for the last couple of years. So this is out of like 4,400 agents. So to be top 50, I sold almost 60 properties, which is, you know, I work 7 days a week. If I'm awake, I'm doing something on my phone most of the time. My rule with my clients is if I don't answer, I'm sleeping and I'll call you when I wake up. Not to say that I don't ever take like, you know, an hour off, but not often. But to really be successful in real estate and to really be the best that you can be for your clients, you have to put 100% into it. And that means like, it's your life. And I love it. I love it being my life. But there are many agents out there who, you know, they just do it part-time, or they're, you know, trying to make their own schedule and do whatever they want to. And the success in real estate really comes when you really dive fully in there. So, and then with TV, I mean, I guess for that, I would say like everybody expects that I'm going to show up with this big camera crew, and it's not. It's me and my videographer, Mike. I'll give Mike a shout out, Mike Lever. He's amazing. He does all my listing videos. I met him through the American Dream TV. Helps me do a lot of my my silly videos, my coming soon, and then he videos my watch parties and the show for me. But it's just Mike and I, you know, and what I tell every person that I'm about to interview is it's not live. So you can say the dumbest thing ever and we'll just make a blooper out of it later, but it's not going to go on the show, you know. And that really, I think, calms people down a lot, like knowing that I can mess up and it's okay. And then once they mess up a couple of times, people get really comfortable. But yeah, I mean, I think that would be it. Just like people expecting that, you know, that there's going to be a barrage of videographers and lighting, and not that we don't have lighting, but I will say even when I went on the news that morning, like I was so shocked they didn't have a single camera person. It was all just like remote controlled cameras, and the producers were in a different room controlling them. Because I'm like, where's the crew? You know, so I had the same misconception, like expecting that there were going to be all these people in there, and it was just, you know, me and the woman interviewing me. So,
Right, because usually you would think they'll have like about 10 people, the floor man, the camera crew, and all that.
Yeah, well, you know, if you watch any TV show where it's the new, you know, where they're, you know, making a show about news, there's always like camera people zooming around, or like if they're making a movie, like there's all these things happening, and I'm sure there are some things where that still happens like that, but yeah, not where I was. so that was a big surprise.
Right, and you know, as a woman navigating through like multiple spaces, what advice do you have for other women breaking into media or real estate?
You know, I'll say there are a lot of female real estate agents, and some of the biggest difficulties that I would say that I deal with personally is I work with a lot of men, and every once in a while, because I work with a lot of investors, so and not that women can't be investors, but these guys are my flippers, you know, and because I work with them, I get a lot of calls from other investors, and every once in a while, the you know, the question of why am I working with a woman? I should be working with a man. A man would be better at this. And I'm like, why would you think that? You know, what about this job makes it seem like a man would be better at it? Like, I don't understand how that correlates at all. And I've had to talk a couple clients back down, you know, like, these are my qualifications. I've been doing this for, I'm in my 14th year now. I've been a top producing agent for the last 10. You know, and this is everything that I do. I love the numbers. My numbers are always good. Like there's no reason to really feel like just because I'm a woman, I wouldn't be able to do the job. But you know, but that does come up every once in a while. That and the new clients that come in that try to make it more than real estate. They want to have, you know, private conversations. Do you want to go get dinner after we see this? I had one client ask me to stay after an open house, and he came home with his sons and like cornered me. I thought he wanted to talk about the open house, and he cornered me to tell me all the reasons why I should start dating him and in front of his kids. Like,
Wow.
No. I'm like, first of all, I would never date a client. And second of all, I'm not interested. And, it gets very awkward. So, finding a way to exit yourself from that situation without potentially losing the client, because with that specific client, I had been working with him for a year and a half. He had a couple purchase deals fall apart, and now he finally bought something. Now we're selling his house, and I'm like, I have invested so much time and energy into this. Like, how do I bring this person back to the fact that this is a professional relationship and not a personal one? And that can be tough because, when I'm working with somebody, we are texting all day. We're out seeing each other all the time because we're looking at properties. We're on the phone. I'm very involved in their life because we're making the biggest investment of their life, or we're selling the biggest investment of their life. And, and those things can get intertwined for some people. So, learning how to set clear boundaries and not being afraid to tell that client that's hitting on you, no, no, I'm your real estate agent. I'm not your girlfriend. So, but I know it can be, especially when you're newer in the business, it can be discouraging. Like, is that why people are working with me? So, just don't let that get you down. Set your boundaries. If somebody's really making you uncomfortable, drop them. You can make money somewhere else. It's not that big of a deal. And don't let people tell you that a man can do your job better than you can, because how well you do your job is really up to you and how well you do it.
Right. Very, very good advice. How do you define success today, and has that definition evolved over time?
So when so how do I define success today? I feel like what I'm doing right now, I'm very successful, and it's because I have repeat business. I have clients that trust me. Those long-term relationships in business, I think, really say a lot about how effectively you do your job, because we do, you get a lot of people that just buy a house and you don't hear from them for like another 10 years. So knowing that my clients really trusted me and continue to want to work with me is a big success for me. And then with the show, I can have anybody on it that I want to, but I think it's really important to give back to your community. So, like I had said before, every episode I put a nonprofit or a charity on there, and then at the watch party we do a fundraiser for them. So, while I love highlighting all the businesses, because that is what the show is, it's the lifestyle, the real estate of the capital region. Having the opportunity to do something to give back to my community while I'm doing something so fun is what makes me feel successful in doing the show. And then, how it's changed. I remember, so before I started working with the broker I'm with now, I had started with a very small firm. It was just the one woman that owned it. She was my neighbor. Wasn't selling. I got pregnant with my son. I was like, I need to make some money. There's this other brokerage, and he had all these ads on TV, like, you'll make at least $75,000 a year. And I'm like, that is so much money. So, so I went to work with him. I was there for about 8 months. It did not work out. There were like terrible leads, and it wasn't what I was expecting it to be at all. But when I went in to interview with them, he had asked me how much money did I want to make. And I was like, I'd be happy with the 75. I guess maybe 100. That'd be really cool. And he's like, that's your goal? Like, that's it? And I'm like, is there more? Like, is there even an opportunity to do more than that? I had no idea. Was very poor for a very long time. And the idea that I could make enough money to only have one job instead of 3 was like, just mind blowing for me. But at that point, that was what I thought was, financial success anyway. It was like being able to make $75,000 or $100,000 a year just seems so incredibly far away, and like the pinnacle point of where I thought I wanted to get to. But I'll always remember him asking me, is that it? Is that that's as far as you can think? Because at that moment, that really was as far as I could think. And so that sticks with me.
Nice. Lots of work.
Yeah.
What inspires you creatively outside of your work? Like, what recharges you up?
Um, so I like I mean I spend so much of my time working. So my kids, obviously, my daughter actually she just turned 25. So I don't get to hang out with her as much as I would like to because she's off on her own doing her own thing. But my son, who's 10 years old, is like he's just the best. He's so much fun to be around, hang out with, play. He's like a big joker. Um, so we just have so much fun together. I really like yoga. So I try to get there at least a couple times a week, and working out just in general. Um, and then I like writing. So I don't know if you watched any of my videos or if anybody watching this has watched any of my videos, but I really like making silly, funny stuff. So I'll do like a coming soon video for work, and it's like I've taken a song and written terrible lyrics to it that has something to do with the house, and then I act it out on camera, and it's so bad, but I have so much fun doing it. It's like I don't know. It's just like something extra that I get to do that besides the work part of it that I really enjoy doing is doing something fun and funny.
Nice. And lastly, if someone is watching or listening right now who feels stuck, unsure, or afraid to take their shot, at that next job or that next goal, what would you tell them for their journey?
So I mean, I feel like every moment is borrowed, right? Like something could happen as soon as we hang up this call and it completely changes my life. You never, whether it's in a good way or a bad way, but you never know what's coming next. So I mean, I say you just got to go for it. Be uncomfortable. If you never make yourself uncomfortable, you're never going to change. Nothing new is ever going to come into your life. You really got to just put yourself out there and realize like this is your one opportunity, and maybe there will be another different opportunity later on. But if there's something that you want in front of you, you have to go for it and just face your fear, whatever is holding you back, and just do it anyway. Because the worst thing that's ever going to happen is it doesn't work out, and then you pick up the pieces and you go do something else. You learn your lesson from it, and you decide where you're going to go. For in your next direction. So yeah, just do it.
Right.
For risk of sounding cliche, but you just gotta go.
Just got to start. Just do it.
Yep. You're never going to get anywhere, even if your first step isn't, what you think your last step is going to be, where your final destination is going to be. You're not going to make it to that destination if you stay standing still. You got to just start moving forward.
Right. Good advice. Good advice. Well, I really appreciate you for taking time coming on the podcast.
Yeah, I really appreciate you having me. It's very exciting. Thank you so much.
Definitely. I'll keep in touch. It'll be dropping this Thursday.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Peace.
All right. Thank you.